Geocaching World is a proud member of the Tech Podcast Network. If it's tech, it's here.
What happens when you do a Geocaching World without the HeadHardHat? You have to take Andy number 2, I guess. We'll find out. Stay tuned. Folks, I'm Andy McCaskey from RVNN TV, welcoming you here to this episode of Geocaching World. You may be wondering where our HeadHardHat, Andy Smith, might be, and I guess that you'd say he's kind of in the walking wounded category. We'll talk about that in a minute. But we'll let you know that you're in good hands, technical control being run by Courtney Wallin.
I don't know about that. If good hands is what we're... I'm back. This is cutting off my head.
It is. Oh, that's right.
Stand up. I'm not tall enough.
That's right. That camera was adjusted for the other day where I was kind of scrunched down because it was a little bit shorter. But hey, listen, we're having a kind of an unusual episode because, as I mentioned, Andy Smith, the HeadHardHat, who was out with us at the Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas, really kind of under the weather, caught the flu or whatever was going along, and he's had a rough time. So we wish him well, but he's not going to be joining us here tonight, except in digital form, I guess you might say.
Yes, and we'll have a video coming up here because if you remember where his ailments began, where was it down in CES? We had a great time before that all happened, but we will be showing a really cool interview we think that you'll be interested in.
Absolutely. And of course, one of the things that we talk about this is a Hangout, and we've opened up the Google Hangout, and the meet and greet consists of 1 experienced geocachers and 2 novice geocachers. Lewis, why don't you say hello here, and we'll see if we can bring your audio up here as well.
There he is.
Hey, got some friends there too, huh?
Do I have that muted still?
You've got something muted, or maybe...
There it is.
Yeah, hi there.
Oh, hey.
Yeah, I got... Is it on now?
Yeah.
Yes, it's working great.
Dad's third princess over there.
Excellent.
And they're famous now.
They are indeed, and they're going to be found on a couple of places on the net here in the next couple of days. Thanks so much for joining us here in the Hangout, and as we go along, hopefully we'll have a couple of other folks to come along as well. Well, let me tell you that, it'll be okay if you snicker a little bit, but I'm up to 3 finds. Actually 4. Actually, I had 4 finds that are on my scorecard, but I'm getting into it and learning more as things go along. Now, mine were pretty easy. In fact, 2 of them were in the Las Vegas area. Had a chance to introduce, so far, 4 new people into the obsession and sport.
Good job.
And but I leave all the hardcore geocaching to Courtney over here to the side.
Yeah, and I almost had another hardcore experience geocaching a couple weeks ago. We went camping with a bunch of friends and we were at a state park, and I'd been there before, and I knew ahead of time that there weren't many caches at this particular place. So going there again, I thought, well, maybe there's more. Maybe we're just it's a huge park. So I thought, we'll see. Well, we start off, I get all my friends all excited to go find this geocache, which is only 0.6 miles away from our cabin. And then we start going and we dead end because basically there's a lake there. So we have to either hike it or do something, which I think I came right out of the chute. I did too much at one time. I think the level of expectation is high for me.
Yeah.
Because of my first cache that I found. And you would expect us to head along, except for it was about to get dark. There was about a foot of snow on the ground, and there was like 10 of us. And we just didn't think it would be such a good... It was going to be about a 2-mile walk there, 2-mile walk back, and we just gave up.
Well, no, what you did was you took note of that and put that in your list of geocaches to reapproach in the spring, right, Lois? Isn't that what you're supposed to do?
Yeah.
he says yes.
Yeah. Have to keep going back.
You've got to keep going back. So tell us, as you look at us here as not even novices, we're just doing the baby step sorts of things. How many years of geocaching experience do you have?
About 4 years actively geocaching.
Okay. And so what's your count now? What's your find? How many finds are in your logbook, so to speak?
1,428.
1,400.
Wow. Man, Andy, we've got some major work to do here.
We do indeed have some work to do, and you know, we might need to have
just take it one cache at a time.
One cache at a time. You know, one of the things that's been particularly rewarding though is my youngest daughter saw us out. We went out along one of these railroad right-of-ways, and that had been converted into a biking trail. And there were a couple of good caches located along the line. It was really a great experience. And she was telling her friends about this at work later on, about a week later. And they were just talking about it over lunch. And she says, "Oh no," she says, "these things are right here, and they're all around you." And the work co-workers were kind of skeptical. And she said, "No," he says. So she pulled out the phone, and it was a bottle cap cache. And she was so thrilled. They went out there, and there was a soda machine. And now there's nothing here. You know, this is a total waste of time. And then all of a sudden, one of the guys says, "Hey, wait a minute!" And sure enough, there it was, just right in plain sight. But you had to have those special eyes.
Did she do one of those "I told you so"?
I don't know if she did the finger wave or not, but she probably could have. But
she could have.
There were so now it's just like. It's like you get one, and you get one more, and you get two more, and it just keeps on going as far as people as well as geocaches, huh?
Yeah. Me?
Yeah.
Me? Yeah, I guess, you know, I think that all my friends, it was interesting. Some of them didn't even know that I hosted a show about geocaching. And so when I said that, and then when I asked everyone if they wanted a geocache, I was actually a little bit skeptical of saying it, because I didn't know if they'd be like, "What's that?" Or I was really surprised at how many of them had done it, and the ones that hadn't done it were really eager to try it. So I'm glad that I said that and got people to participate. So we'll have to get.
Well, a big part of what we found at CES was the fact that there's all sorts of tools that are available for keeping your gadgets organized. There's probably hundreds of iPhone covers that we found out there. But Andy was able to talk with the people at Magellan. And not only was he able to talk with the folks there, he got invited down into a kind of a private demo area that's not open to the general show attendees at all, and had a chance to talk with the Magellan people, and he just asked them, "Hey, what's new for geocachers?" And that's what we'd like to take a look at right now.
This is the Tech Podcast Network. If it's tech, it's here.
This is Andy HeadHardHat Smith for TPN.TV, and I'm lost, but I found my way now.
Sponsored in part by Go to My PC. Use their iPhone app to access your work or home computer anytime. Try Go to My PC today with a special 45-day free trial. Visit gotomypc.com and click the Try It Free button and enter the promo code podcast.
This is Andy HeadHardHat Smith here, and I tell you what, I am so geeked. I'm at Magellan with Eric Waters, and we are going to talk about GPS units. Yes, the entire Explorers line. We're getting it literally, I don't want to say from the horse's mouth, but we're getting it from the techies. That's what counts. Eric, welcome. Tell us about the Explorers.
Well, the Explorers that you have in your hand is the Explorers GC. The Explorers GC is a device that we've made explicitly for geocaching. So this thing has all the bells and whistles for your geocaching enthusiasts. Holds 10,000 full paperless geocaches and only costs you $149.
Oh, wow, that is really great. And you know what I like about the entire Magellan Explorers line is it covers all the PowerPoints. In other words, people that are just starting out with geocaching or want to go out for that outdoor hike, they've got a price point that would fit their budget. And for the guys that want all the bells and whistles, you have that too.
That's exactly right. You know, we just introduced the Explorers 110, which is this device here, the little blue one. It's only $129. Also does paperless geocaching, up to 500 geocaches, but also does all the other outdoor type of functionality that you'd expect to see. So if you want to know what time the fish are going to bite, or when you want to go out and hunt, you want to get back to your point of origin, be it the trailhead, your camp, or your car, this device will get you there. So for that price point conscious customer, this is a fantastic unit.
I love what we did with this. I love how Explorers has expanded its knowledge with this from one GPS unit to the next. Each one has those extra features. Why don't you explain some of them with Explorers here?
Sure. So as you go up through the price bands, you add certain things like the ability to add additional mapping. So if you want to have high-resolution topographic mapping with you when you're out on the trail, be it hiking, geocaching, hunting, fishing, we have maps that cover everything. We even have satellite imagery subscriptions available. So if you want to get a bird's eye view of what the terrain looks like, you know, from above, we have that type of data available for you.
That's amazing. Now, you were actually telling me before we started here, you have a new way of showing a different kind of map, a hybrid map. Why don't you explain how that works?
Sure. So on our flagship unit, the Explorer 710, what we've done is we've taken full topographic mapping and we've taken turn-by-turn navigation that you've come to expect on car navigation devices, and we've taken those two different mapping technologies and blended them into one seamless experience. So say, for example, you're standing on your front porch and you decide you want to go to a geocache that's on the mountain summit nearby. Well, this device, you just mark which waypoint you want to go to, or which geocache in this example. It'll give you turn-by-turn directions to the physically closest position on road, and then give you point-to-point guidance for the remaining distance.
That's great. Now listen, when it comes to some of the higher-end GPS units that you have here, what are some of the bells and whistles that people have been asking for?
So throughout the Explorers 510, 610, and 710 line, they come integrated with a 3.2 megapixel camera, which can shoot both stills and videos, and I'll talk a bit more about that in a moment, sure. and a microphone for voice recording. So it becomes very, very easy to, say you want to mark a waypoint, it's much easier to take a picture of something, have it be geo-referenced, and you'll know instantly what that is. So if it's your campsite, if it's your truck, if it's the trailhead, you just snap a photograph. It's geo-referenced, you can add notes to it, and you know exactly where it was.
That's amazing. You know, that's one thing for geocachers all around have wanted for so long. They want to have that ability to take a picture because the best camera you have is the one that you have with you. And voice recording, believe it or not, when it comes to things like travel bugs or geocoins and you're trying to remember those codes, being able to record those verbally and be able to just replay that back or to find that perfect spot that you want to hide that geocache, big bonus there. So I'm going to tell you what, we're going to go right now to our sponsors. This is Andy HeadHardHat Smith from TPN TV.
You know, right in the middle of the Consumer Electronics Show here in Las Vegas, I would be able to have full control of my workstation back in the office, even though it's thousands of miles away. How can I do that? I can do that through an application called Go to My PC. It's a new iPhone app, and as we learned at CES, it's also available for Android. What you're able to do is to take control of your PC remotely, whether it be PC or Mac, and make adjustments just as if you were sitting there. You can go in and tweak an Excel sheet. You can make a change to a PowerPoint. You can edit a file from Microsoft Word. A tremendous capability that you can try free for 45 days. Just go to gotomypc.com and look for the Try It Free button, and then make sure that you use the code PODCAST, P-O-D-C-A-S-T. Go to My PC wherever you are.
Great. So, Eric, I'll tell you what, we are really geeked. I want to see the big boys. I want to see the toys now. Could you explain some of the ones as far as the Explorers 510 up to the 710, please?
Absolutely. So I'm just going to grab the 710. So this is our flagship model here. You can see on the back that it has the integrated 3.2 megapixel camera. It has the speaker built in so you can play back video or play back recordings. And then the microphone is this little guy right down here. What else is really neat is on the side of this device, you've got 2 different buttons. And those come predefined as take a picture and mark a waypoint. But for geocaching, we've come up with a really cool function that you can use one of these buttons for. If you take the mark waypoint button, for example, and change its function over to the geocaching feature, no matter where you are, if you tap that button, you're going to get a list of the geocaches that are closest to you.
Automatically?
Automatically.
Oh, nice.
So now it gets better. So when you decide to choose to route to a cache, as soon as you hit go to on that cache, that button then becomes quick access to the details about that geocache. So hit the button again, and voila, there's your description, your hint if you want to see it, if you're that kind of cacher, you know, and any other type of attribution that comes with paperless geocaching.
That is amazing. I'll tell you what, geocachers for years have been waiting for this. Excellent feature. Just a couple quick questions for you before we go. What type of information did you get from users? Because obviously as this has progressed, they've advanced and it's dead on with what geocachers want. How did you get this information, and do you have any other future ideas?
Yeah, so we started a program called the Magellan Insiders, and what we did is we pulled on a lot of industry experts and users included that would feed us with information about what specifically they were looking for. And they were involved with the development process all the way throughout the alphas, the beta software releases, and all the way finally through to production, so that we really hit, you know, what people are looking for in these devices. And we also keep our ear to the ground, you know, regarding the forums, be it the Groundspeak forums or Explorers forum or a variety of different web resources, so we can really collect that data that people are saying what's good, what's bad, what we can improve on. And we also use our tech support group to feed us information, you know, common threads, trends about what people want to see improved, what features they want added, and we'll come out with periodic software updates to meet those needs.
That's excellent. Any secrets on what's coming out next?
They're still secrets, I'm sorry.
Oh, that's a bummer, but hey, I had to ask. How can people get in touch with you and find out more about the Magellans?
So they can go to MagellanGPS.com. You can purchase, you can get support, you can get software updates, you can purchase additional maps and contents to your heart's content.
Excellent. Thank you, Eric, so much. I greatly appreciate it. Andy HeadHardHat Smith for TPN.TV. Back to you.
This is the Tech Podcast Network. If it's tech, it's here.
That was a really fun interview to watch because Andy HeadHardHat just got so excited.
Kid in a candy store.
Kid in a candy store. Well, he was like that all week, actually, going back and forth, and I know he had, you know, literally miles that he was going from one part of the exhibit halls to the other exhibit halls, and back and forth and so forth. What I did want to show you, though, was, if I hold it carefully to keep things covered up, there was a Magellan Geocoin that we were able to get 1 or 2 of. So that is very, very well done. Let me pull that off to the side there, and you can see that as well. It has one of the Explorist units on the back, and I'm not sure. I suspect that if I looked carefully, I could figure out which unit it is. I think it's the Explorist GC that's located on the backside of the coin here. So pretty exciting, and it was very interesting to listen to how once you get past that basic entry level, how a lot of the functions that novices such as ourselves use the smartphone for. How that's built into the GPSR, as I should be, as I'm learning to call things.
I was obviously, as in a noob, as they call it, I was a little surprised as well. So I think that I need to go out and purchase the 710. I think what I got from that segment is that I should just go big or go home.
Oh, I don't know about that. You know, there's way a lot of power there. And it's kind of like the Benford series of instruments. I don't know if you're familiar with the Benford 4000. But I imagine there's a GPS equivalent.
I'm sure. Should we ask? We've got someone in the Hangout. Should we ask them what they think about this? The interview?
Yeah, let's.
No.
No, I'm here. No. What
Okay.
sort of things are happening in the chat room there
Alrighty.
to the side?
So let's see here. Let's get this up here. Well, we've got the chat room going on, and yeah, I think they said that they saw. Ping said he saw the coin close-up on HeadHardHat's site. He had it up, so I'm sure he was showing that off, and looks like he did. So here's the chat room. It's pretty chatty tonight.
Oh, okay.
And we've got lots of good stuff going on. A lot of people were asking about, can you download public domain maps onto the unit? And then someone else responded that one of their friends has a Magellan unit and they can download anything on it. So that's something I don't really know for sure.
Actually, if we could go ahead, if you could fire up Sketch, one of my favorite Mac applications,
Yes.
and do a screenshot of that chat room.
Yes.
We can send that off to HeadHardHat and see what he can do to give us the answers.
Okay.
To that as well. And I feel sure that that at his site and also at tpn.tv that there will be additional information that is spotted there as well. Gee, since we've had a chance to talk with you guys, we've got really, really big news here at RVNN TV that some of you may not be familiar with. We are actually now in the Roku channel store. And what that means is when you've gone out and spent between $49 and $110 if you want the Angry Birds edition, if you have purchased the Roku, you plug it in, and I think it's Disney and Netflix are the two that come up automatically when you first purchase this at your local big box store or online. But what happens, you can go to the channel store and you can chug right across there with your thumb on that one button remote, and you can pick out RVNN TV and punch it one time, and then it is in your channel lineup. And of course, when you select RVNN TV, the RVNN shows then appear, and of course Geocaching World will be right there. And we're really excited about that because it makes it so much easier for people who are maybe new to the to RVing, or maybe you don't even know about geocaching, a way that they can discover that. And so we're pretty excited about that. Couple of other things that have been going on that are new. Courtney, you might talk about your travel app that you cite each day on or each week for the 3 shows, Monday, Wednesday, Friday for RVNN Live. We can talk about Courtney's travel app, except she's busy in the chat room.
Nope, I'm
here.
good. Yeah. Oh,
Okay.
here's the Roku. I was going to bring that up. That's what I was trying to bring up there, and it wasn't cooperating. So I think someone said I could watch you on the Roku, but I didn't win the Roku when we were giving it away.
Well,
so
they are now at $59.99. You know, they've had some holiday sales going on, but it's really great entertainment. You know, my wife has just recently discovered Netflix on the Roku. In fact, she discovered that when we were at CES. I've been saying, oh, this is really great, and we've kind of been watching movies there from time to time. But she started exploring and you know, came back from CES, and she had really been enjoying the selection that of movies that she had there. But so that's one of the things that's new. And then, as I mentioned, travel app.
yeah, absolutely. Let me I'm going to be talking and probably not looking exactly at the camera because I'm going to be working on something. So every day on RVNN Live, which is at 5 p.m. now, but starting next Monday, we were going to be at noon Eastern time, and then we'll stream for a few hours. So
Yes.
you can catch us on your lunchtime, no matter what time zone you are in. That's our hopes. And so check it out. We've got a lot of new features, but one of them, like Andy said, is the travel app of the day. And so I've been kind of sharing these post-show to our Google+, our Facebook, Twitter, but this will be a separate show eventually that you can check out on the Roku or at rvnn.tv and check out all these cool travel apps that I found. So one that I'm going to share with you guys maybe right now real quickly is the one I had on Friday, which was the 27th, which is Wickitude. If you're not familiar with that, that's what I was going to bring up, that video that I showed.
Yes.
Wickitude is an AR technology app. It's free. It's for Droid. It's for iOS. It's for BlackBerry, and now the Windows 7 phone. So lots of really good stuff on that. There it is. Here's my video. So maybe I should just play that, and you guys can check it out.
Yeah.
And we'll come back here in just a second.
Hi, and welcome to a short tour of the brand new release of Wickitude World Browser. The latest version of Wikitude World Browser features a slick, completely revamped user interface with awesome personalization features that make browsing interesting places and finding information a breeze. You can immediately see which places are available near you. Selecting a bookmarked world instantly brings up the places. No nasty loading times interrupting the information flow. You can now bookmark worlds and searches, and they will appear as icons on the home screen. The bookmarks can easily be customized by long pressing and rearranging them via drag and drop. This way, information that matters to you is only one touch away. With Wikitude World Browser, it's fun and exciting to discover the world around you. Learn about sites and events, read user reviews, find discounts for stores and shops nearby, and much more. Perform full-text searches for places across all worlds and browse them in list, map, or augmented reality view. Bookmark relevant searches for instant access anywhere you go. Wikitude World Browser 6. Get it now for your iPhone or iPad.
Oh, there you go.
The World Browser. What a name and what a concept.
It's cool. And you have to go back and watch the RVNN Live where I first spoke words of this, because Andy didn't know the app that I had picked. And he was so geeked that in that, what was it, a minute 35 video, he's like downloading the app and making sure he has it and uses it right away.
It's absolutely fascinating. The concept of being able to visually tag items in the real world that you can then, with this augmented reality, be able to view through that. And I'm just really, really excited next trip to Chicago to go up and down Michigan Avenue and just see what has been tagged there, because in a metropolitan area like that, that certainly folks have been very active. And this is a great opportunity as people are out and about to add these labels to various views that you might see. Now, from a geocaching standpoint, of course, you wouldn't want to be spoiling things by revealing too much information, but you could certainly give a good idea of what's going on, and perhaps some things that you found that were very enjoyable during your trip as well. In fact, that's kind of the notion behind another thing that we've added to RVNN Live, right?
Yes, and this is another feature. You're going to find a few more features especially come March 1st. It's going to be a lot of new stuff going on, but February, next Monday, which is the first full week in February, we've got a lot going on. But one show that we've been kind of teasing, which also will be an individual show on the Roku or at rvnn.tv, is Geocache Radar. Why don't you go ahead and explain that?
Yeah, well, it's really easy to explain, but it's a minute and 40 seconds, so let's take a look and it'll explain itself.
Radar GRCD 104-5. Today's cache is near Visalia, California. While in the Visalia area, you could start out at the Imagine You Children's Interactive Museum, or check out corals and fish at the Ultimate Aquarium. Or you could take the walking tour of downtown and find out why a very minor battle of the Civil War occurred on Main Street in Visalia, all within easy driving distance of today's cache. Today's cache is number GC1RDF1 with a difficulty of 1 and a terrain of 2. It's called For the Birds. Remember to take a magnet and bring your own pen. General location 36 degrees north, 17 minutes, west 119 degrees, 19 minutes. Watch out for the gopher holes and realize that it is a high muggle area, especially in midweek. For full details, go to geocaching.com, the official global GPS geocache hunt site. For show notes on this cache, go to rvnewsnet.com/geocache. Information is believed to be valid at the time of production, but conditions may change. Use common sense and caution, and do not trespass. Keep geocaching a fun and family RV activity. Geocache Radar is a production of RV Newsnet and RVNN TV, and is a member of the Tech Podcast Network. If it's tech, it's here.
Yeah, Courtney, you'll be glad to know that in the ones I recorded for this week, we kind of backed down the satellite there at the end a little bit.
Yeah, maybe we should have prefaced that by there's nothing going by your window. There's nothing outside. That's just in the radar.
Well, that's so the idea is that eventually each day of the week we'll be trying to focus on one area of the country that RVers might find attractive, an area that's a good family location, but an area that has attractions that the whole family will want to participate in. And an interesting geocache. And of course, obviously in any given location there would be many geocaches that we could choose from. And so if you have a particular area of the country, a particular region that's been a lot of fun for you to geocache in, where you have a favorite cache that you can point us to, we'd certainly be very happy to kind of feature that on one of the episodes of Geocache Radar. It's probably intended to be more of a general introduction to people who have maybe heard of geocaching but aren't quite sure what's going on, and so that they can recognize that it is a fun and safe family activity that can be applicable for all ages. What we try and do when we look at a particular area is to pick out a particular venue that would be kind of interest to kids, a venue that might be somewhat cultural in nature, and then of course obviously an outdoor or venue that would be attractive from a hiking or camping standpoint. Those are kind of the general rules that we have in picking out parts of the country. But you know, that was one. I don't know. Really, be very anxious to hear what you guys think about how Geocache Radar can be developed, and from a geocacher's standpoint, what information should or should not be included in the citation. As Courtney said, this eventually is going to be a regular show.
Yeah, absolutely. It looks like it's getting a really good response in the chat room here, and they said, so you want us to send you some good caches? We absolutely do. So send those to geocache@rvnn.tv. And actually, some of our people in the chat room tonight wanted to send pictures of some caches to kind of showcase on tonight's show. The geocache email, I realize, doesn't forward to me. So if you've got a picture you want to show, maybe we'll show another radar, and if I get pictures in within that minute 40, I'll try to show. Just send those to cw@rvnn.tv. So do you want to show Mondays?
Let's go ahead and take, I can't remember, that one was from California. What we also try and do is right now we're trying to put a little geographic diversity into it, in that we're trying to get some on the West Coast, some on the East Coast. But because of the weather that we have, you know, obviously from a seasonal standpoint, we're tending to look at things generally in the southern, you know, in the warmer areas of the country where you don't have snow cover. That's kind of the thought process right now, although we did have one in Maine. I don't know if you've got that one queued up or which one.
I have the one that we did on Monday.
On Monday.
You know,
boy, it all runs together here. Let's see where this one turns out to be.
Hey, it's Geocache Radar, episode GCRD 105-1. Today's cache is located near Marion, Virginia, in the southwest corner of the state. While you're in the Marion area, you could start out at the CCC camp that's now Hungry Mother State Park for canoeing or hiking. Or you could enjoy a real 1950s-style drive-in theater and miniature golf course. Or savor the evening at Handsome Molly's small wine shop and bistro, all within easy driving distance of today's cache. Today's cache is number GC1Y0E41. It's called the Zipline Spillway Overlook. It's large enough for travel bugs and most larger swag. Approximate location, north 36 degrees, 52 minutes, west 81 degrees, 31 minutes. There's a mountain bike trail, and there's a hiking trail with multiple caches available. For full details, go to geocaching.com, the official global GPS hunt site. For show notes on this cache, go to rvnewsnet.com/Geocache Radar. Information is believed to be valid at the time of production, but conditions may change. Use common sense and caution and do not trespass. Keep geocaching a fun and family RV activity. Geocache Radar is a production of RV Newsnet and RVNN TV and is a member of the Tech Podcast Network. If it's tech, it's here.
Well, as a philosopher once said, life is like a box of chocolates, and geocache radars are kind of that way too, and that you can't consume a lot of them one right after one right after the other. But anyway, that's the general idea. That one was particularly interesting because they talked about that if you are not, I think it was an iron lung biker. From a mountain bike standpoint, apparently it's quite a challenge. In fact, they recommended that you may want to walk the bike up and then have a fun time riding down. So that was one activity. The other thing is if you take the hiking trail, which apparently is considerably longer, there are a number of geocaches along the way. So there's some opportunities to spend a really pleasant couple of hours there near Marion, Virginia. Of course, this time of the year, and particularly at that altitude, might be a little bit chilly. Although the way our winter has been going, it might still be open, no snow, and ready to be found.
That's actually kind of what's going on in the chat room. People are talking about it's pretty warm on the East Coast. They said 58 in Cleveland. We probably had about 58. 55 today here in northern Indiana, which is so weird, because it's winter, and we don't see that around here because we are right by Lake Michigan. I mean, if we drive 5 miles down the road, we're in Michigan. Oh, right? Or less?
We're closer than that. Less. Yeah, we're probably 2.5 miles if you were to head due north. So one of the questions I would have for the chat room is, should we go ahead just without regard to season and go ahead and pick out caches in all areas of the country, or should we continue to try and find things, for planning for the summer, or should we go ahead and try and be kind of somewhat cognizant of what the weather patterns are and concentrate on those in warmer kind of climates right now? Again, the objective is to try and let people know about the hobby of geocaching and to make it easy for them to do that. Kind of two sides of the coin, because a lot of people are planning their spring break. A lot of people are planning their summer vacations right now. So that might be an argument for focusing in Iowa and Michigan, Colorado, a lot of really summertime sorts of places. We'll see.
Yeah, they were saying in the chat room that Virginia State Parks just started some advertising and has geocaching in it as well. So they're gonna, I believe that's actually Lewis, is gonna find that link and maybe send it our way. So we are really interested in feedback on Travel App, on the Geocache Radar, and of course we'll be back next week on Tuesday with HeadHardHat. So send him a note and tell him that you're thinking about him, that you missed him tonight, because I know we missed him. We can't carry the show half as well as he can. But thank you guys for sticking around. And our email, here, I'll put up my name here. I have to sit up. I'm so short. There it is. Okay, so our emails are really simple. It's our first letter of our first and last name. So cw@rvnn.tv. And then Andy's is am@rvnn.tv.
That works.
And of course, you can always send all geocaching related feedback to geocache@rvnn.tv. We make it pretty easy, we hope. Except for Ustream does not like it when we put the @ or a website, and I completely forgot today. So, whoops.
Okay.
Whoopsie doopsie.
All right. Well, listen, thanks so much for joining us. Thanks for joining us in the chat room. And Louis, thanks for joining us here on the Google Hangout as well. And we'll look forward to seeing you here on Geocaching World next week.
Actually, I pressed the wrong button, so I'll just keep talking until I get my things straight. And a reminder that live is on at 12 p.m. starting Friday.
12 noon.
12 noon.
Yes.
Eastern. Looping. Okay, I'm good. I'm done. So we'll see you guys next week. Have a good one.
Got a question or a comment about geocaching? Send it to geocache@rbnn.tv or leave us a voicemail at 877-578-RBNN, extension 714. Tell us about a cache you especially enjoyed finding, and we may feature it in an upcoming episode. Follow RV Newsnet on Facebook and Twitter, and you can receive text messages to alert you when we're streaming live by texting RVNN to 72727. That way, you can join us live in the chat room, ask questions, and become part of the RV Newsnet family. Remember, any photos or other material submitted to us become the property of RV Newsnet and cannot be returned.